If you're anything like me, you'll be hitting a bit of a wall with the lockdown situation. Some of us are fed up of being shut in. Some of us are missing work. Some are overworked. Some are enjoying lockdown. Some of us are anxious about going back into reality. Some of us are scared of getting ill. And some are dealing with existing physical and mental health issues. Maybe we've even experienced quite a few of these emotions over the last few weeks. Today's Gospel reading is often read leading up to Easter, so it's a bit strange to hear it again now. John places this conversation just after Jesus has washed the disciples' feet and predicted Judas's betrayal and Peter's denial. Once again, he has unsettled his closest friends by telling them what is about to happen. And we begin chapter 14 with him comforting them as they attempt to absorb this latest update. Let's quickly run through that again. Jesus, in complete humility and service, washes his friends' feet, then explains that one of the group will betray him, which hits the whole team. Judas leaves. Then Jesus announces that soon he will be going and they cannot follow him, but they must love each other as he has loved them. Peter insists that he will follow Jesus anywhere, and Jesus again brings him back to reality by saying that even Peter will disown him 3 times before the rooster crows. And that is why chapter 14 begins with Jesus telling them not to let their hearts be troubled. They are about to go on an emotional roller coaster, but they don't need to be troubled, just as they didn't when the storm hit the boat. They believe in God, so believe also in Jesus. I'm in lockdown with one of my sons. We've become pretty good, I think, at giving each other space, hanging out alongside each other, and actually doing things together. We have discovered some things that we like to watch together, one of which is Grand Designs. A couple of weeks ago, we watched one of the revisited homes, which was built by a couple from London who were desperate to move to the Cornish countryside. The design and build of the new house took much, much longer than expected and cost far, far more than budgeted. The team involved took a hit when one of the members died unexpectedly, but eventually the house was finished, perfectly designed and equipped for their family's needs. Jesus tells the disciples that his Father's house has many rooms and that he is going to prepare a place for them. Not only that, but he will come back and take them to that place so that they can be where he is. And they know the way to where he is going. So far we know that there is going to be trouble ahead. No mention of moonlight, music and romance. We must love each other. And there is a grand design, behind which is the greatest architect of all, our Creator God. But we always want to know details, don't we? And Thomas vocalises that. He says, "Lord, we don't know where you are going, so how can we know the way?" I don't know if he was expecting a map, but I don't think he was expecting the answer Jesus famously gives in verse 6. "I am the way, the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." Last week we heard about Jesus being the gate and the Good Shepherd. Today he is the way, the truth and the life. This is why John 14 verses 1 to 14 comes up at this time in the calendar, as it reminds us who we should be looking to, the one who shows us how to live. Someone I know read the first 6 verses of this chapter at a crematorium funeral. Just as he said the words, "I am the way, the truth and the life," someone's sat-nav went off in their pocket and said, "You have reached your destination." Thankfully, people laughed. But there is more truth in this than we might realise. Jesus is saying here that if we want to get to the Father's house, we have to come with him. If we really know him, we know the Father too. This goes against the popular trend of building up an image of God in our heads and trying to fit Jesus, or indeed any other religious leader, into that. When Philip says, "Lord, show us the Father and that will be enough for us," Jesus says clearly that anyone who has seen him has seen the Father. And in verse 11 he says that if we can't believe when he says he is in the Father and the Father is in him, at least believe on the evidence of the works he has done. What works? Turning water into wine, healing the Capernaum official's son, the paralysed man at Bethesda, feeding the 5,000, walking on water, restoring a blind man's sight and raising Lazarus from the dead. But also loving those who hated him, washing people's feet. And now he is heading to give his life as the shepherd for the sheep. There are parallels for us now. We are not sure what the future holds for us and our families, our jobs, our church, our city, our world. We are waiting to be told what is going to happen next. And Jesus speaks to us in that waiting room. Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God. Believe also in me. Like Thomas and Philip, we have questions, and Jesus wants us to bring those to him in assurance that he has gone to prepare a place for us. And as well as looking forward, Jesus encourages us to look at what he has done for us in the past, how he has provided beyond what we could have imagined, how he has healed, and how he has brought each one of us to life with the knowledge of his love. I shall end with a quote from Tom Wright. Look at Jesus, the Jesus who wept at the tomb of his friend, the Jesus who washed his followers' feet, and you'll see who is the true God. He is the way, the truth, and the life.